What up, YouTube family? This is Courtney Hoelscher coming back from my hiatus, my 3-month hiatus, a little early. This is temporary, but I had to make a video that I don't know, I thought I would share with you. It's an instructional video from my art class, one of my art classes, and I thought maybe it would be a good way for y'all to voyeuristically see what are the students being given, how are the teachers instructing students from home to the students' homes, how is this happening? And how does that work for an art teacher specifically? So I thought I would put this out there. Also, stick around towards the end for a few behind the scenes shots with me and the fam and what we're up to right now while I'm taking a break from the acrylic pouring. I love you all. I miss you. I have been seeing the outpouring of love in the comments, and I just really appreciate that more than you know. I miss you all, but also this was just a much needed little break, and I appreciate y'all understanding. It will come to an end soon. I'll get back to painting. We'll acrylic pour together again one day. Kisses and hugs. Okay, beginning Art 1 classes, 3rd period as well as 6th period. Welcome back from spring break. I hope that you had a lot of time to just rest and relax. I know we're in an odd situation, but thank you so much for being flexible and trying to get these assignments done. We are sort of at the end of our unit with figure drawing, and you did lots of projects or lots of drawing assignments before we left having to do with the head structure as well as different facial features, how to draw the eyes, how to draw the nose, how to draw the mouth, ears, hair, and then we talked a little bit more about shading, and hopefully this guy, Stan Prokopenko, was able to help you understand. I added those questions along the way just to make sure that I could check for understanding that you were getting it. So now we're going to move on to drawing yourself using the skills that you've learned. But I want you to remember the Loomis approach. When you start drawing, I don't want you to necessarily do the finite measurements that he did, but definitely start with that cranium structure, the round circle that is the cranium. Remember that the top of the ear is halfway from the top to the bottom of the cranium, and the jaw and the nose sort of jut out at an angle from that circular structure. Remember that the eye is a sphere, and that all the structures lie on top of that, as well as the brow and the nose casting a shadow onto it. He talked about various anatomical things with that, and maybe you want to go back and review these videos. It wouldn't hurt you. The nose is so tricky. We know that. Please review that anatomy if you want to, but just, glean what you can from these videos and try to incorporate them into your final project. We talked about the lips and the mouth and how those things, what are the structures underneath and how do they cast shadows? How do they affect the lighting? The ear is complex, but he really broke it down in a way that showed that it wasn't as complex as we thought. Remember that the why question, there is that Y shape in there, and then there is the question mark around it. The hair, a lot of you did really great with the hair. A lot of you forgot the main point, which was that light hits the large masses of hair and shadows fall in chunks. Try to deal with the hair in chunks. And if you have curly hair, bless you, it's definitely harder. But try to treat it in a ringlet, sort of like a cylinder form, and try to simplify it, and don't draw the individual strands, but how does the light hit the overall head and mass of hair, and how does the shadow how does the form turn away from the light and create the shadows? Please review any of these videos you'd like to before we get down to the nitty-gritty of our project, which is... It's a self-portrait, y'all. You knew that was coming. I know we did a self-portrait at the beginning of the year, but that was a way to focus on the grid structure, and considering our unique circumstances, we're going to revisit the self-portrait, because what other subject matter do we all have than our own faces right now? So This time, instead of looking at a photograph where things have already been converted to 2 dimensions for you, we're going to use our 3-dimensional form by observing ourselves in a mirror. Here I am sitting on my bathroom counter with my feet in the sink, and I have turned the overhead lights off in order to get the directional light from the window. So I have nice strong light on one side of my face, and my other side of my face is turning towards the shadow. This is essential for you to draw a properly shaded 3-dimensional form. You have to have directional light. As you can see here, as I'm showing you my progress so far, I definitely focused on the eyes a little too much, but I have drawn the overall head structure. I've got the ears and the nose sort of put in there, the hairline. I'm working on the entire head and not starting with one eye, finishing the eye, going to the other eye, finishing that eye, and then working out. You have to start with the overall head structure, and then you try to make sure things are lined up from there before you work on the details. So you are assigned to draw yourself from observation for a minimum of 30 minutes. This was exactly 30 minutes, but you can certainly go longer if you want. You can stop and start. But I want you to set a timer and make sure that your overall drawing time and observation time is a full 30 minutes. Also, notice how much I'm looking up at the mirror and not just looking down at my drawing the whole time. I'm looking up, I'm looking up. It's essential that you really work from observation. Just like in carpentry, you measure twice, cut once. With drawing, you really have to look a lot, as much, if not more than what you draw. So here I am, I'm finished, and I'm turning the camera off, and there's my final product. The proportions are a little off, I would say. If I worked on this longer, I would play around with it more. The forehead's a little long, the nose is a little big, but this is what I'm looking for from you guys. Full shading, light and shadow. Obviously, do not do spaghetti hair, okay? Also, make sure you show the highlights on your hair. It doesn't matter if you have light hair or dark hair. Light shines on the hair and bounces off of the hair. So you should have light areas. It shouldn't just be all shaded in one color. The light hits your head, and as your head turns away from the light, it turns to shadow, whether that be on your face, your skin, your nose, your hair, your neck, your clothing, everything. The light hits it, and if it's 3-dimensional, there is a part that turns away from the light. So treat everything 3-dimensionally. Make sure you show the shading. This is toned paper that I'm working on. If I had more time, I would probably go back in with a white charcoal pencil and really accentuate those highlights and come in maybe with a softer lead and darken the darks. You will be expected to do an essay along with this. I'll send the prompts for that essay later this week. You have all week to do this. You have all week to do a 30-minute drawing and a 1-page essay. This will be due Monday of next week. So if you have any questions, remember that I have my 4 hours of open chat time. The link is in Google Classroom. The prompts for the essay will be sent maybe Wednesday of this week. Please send me your questions, your comments, your concerns, and welcome back. So what else is new? You might have heard that the old gym is being torn down. They were going to do it this summer, but since no one's at school, they're going ahead and tearing it down. You should drive by and check it out. We went up on the press box and checked it out, and it was pretty crazy. So, YouTube family, thanks for checking out what we're up to lately. Things have really changed since the last time I made a video. Things are definitely more family-oriented, which I'm really enjoying. I gotta tell you, the break has been glorious in that way. Lots of time with the kids. I haven't really found a way to paint at the house. I mean, the way is available. I have space in the garage, but it hasn't quite felt comfortable. So the break continues for now during this pandemic craziness, but just know that Me and mine are happy and healthy and enjoying the new life as it is, and I'll see you on the other side, or sooner maybe, possibly, once things just sort of get a little more streamlined. Thank you for all the sweet comments, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.